Previously on the live room.
So what we're looking for on Financial Juice is indication from Japan, and I would say it's a 50-50 shot. I come on tomorrow morning, go through the news and go, hey, look, Suzuki has just said we are watching closely FX movement. We are not happy with the FX movement, the speed of movement. Any undesirable movement in FX will be met with blah, 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 blah.
And funnily enough, this morning on FX Juice, we're closely watching Forex moves. I won't comment on FX levels. Suzuki emphasizes the significance of stable foreign exchange rates. He declines to comment on FX levels. We are closely monitoring FX movements with a strong sense of urgency.
Ta-da! Told you. Literally said that in the live room yesterday afternoon. I'll come on this morning and they will be moaning about the yen. Do I know my stuff or what? Morning. How are we doing? It was a bit of fun. Right. So, they're moaning about the yen. How is everybody? Morning, Ian, Amy, Evil, Mark, Senji, Peter, Gregors, Virginia, It's Time, Michael, Monkey, Thought, Evil, Sarl, Baggy, Christian, Rico, Grateful Buster. There we go. So, so that happened. As I said yesterday, that 150 level is the critical mass, basically. Wrong one. We want that one, don't we? Is the critical level for the Japanese yen. So when we get to 150, they go, oi, we can't do anything if you go above that. And then they start threatening to intervene. So I took an aggressive drawdown control again overnight in anticipation of that message. And we'll see if it gets through today. But we'll, we could get an intervention immediately today. It could be that they just basically keep knocking on their head and say, oi, do not push. But they've made it clear, obviously, that they are not happy with the way that the yen is moving. So Kanda, yen moves are rapid, closely monitoring exchange with urgency. Kanda to take action on Forex if necessary. Prepared to take action on Forex at any time, 24 hours a year, similar to a natural disaster. Yeah, so this is critical. Yeah, we will see a 600 to 800% ADR move in favor of the yen if they press that button. Yeah, so do not long the yen. You heard it here first. If you long the yen, it's up to you. I am never going to touch the button to buy the yen until that move is back down below 150 and way lower than that. So, it's been basically all night. Suzuki, Kanda, we've just had this morning, the other guy, I can never remember the other guy's name, Hayashi. So basically, do not buy the yen. Short the crap out of the yen. Well, short the crap out of, no, that's wrong. Buy the yen. Short everything against the yen. XXX, JPY, short, not long. Yeah. Other news overnight, this morning, we've had the CPI figure come out for the pound. It was a miss. So we were expecting a 4.1. We had 4. We got 4. So it's good. It's good for me because inflation's coming down, which means the interest rates are coming down, which means my mortgage is coming down. Happy with that. But what it does mean is weakness for the pound as its potential for the interest rate move to happen sooner rather than later. This is just a 4, though. It is the same as last time. It hasn't gone down. It's stayed where it is. So it is still stubbornly high, double the target. We've got Bailey speaking later this afternoon at 3 o'clock. He will comment on this, obviously, and he will be precursoring what we're going to see tomorrow. So if this figure tomorrow comes out as a negative, which is what is forecast, that it puts us into it's kind of a technical recession. What the definition of a technical recession is varied. Some people want 3 quarters or 3 months in a row, an entire quarter with retracted GDP. or contracted GDP. We've had December as a negative, January as a positive, and if we come out with a negative tomorrow, some market forecasters say 2 out of 3 is a recession. Some say 3 out of 3 is a recession. So we'll see what happens, but there's an opportunity tomorrow for the UK to go into a technical recession, which will be, again, negative pound. So we've got negative pound this morning, potential negative pound tomorrow. Bailey could well talk it all down today, kiss the pound goodbye. However, it could all flip back the opposite way today or this afternoon, because Bailey could come out this afternoon and say, even though that's not gone up, it still hasn't come down. Therefore, we're going to push the rates back, in which case that's bullish pound. So as at the moment, everything's driven by the news and talking heads, as we know. So, but yeah, anyway. But the yen is the key thing at the minute. So watch your yens. If you need to do aggressive drawdown control, now is the time. So the market has been warned this morning. As you can see, we're coming down at the moment, US dollar yen. Aussie dollar yen isn't paying any attention. Swiss yen, not really doing an awful lot. But it's the warning shot. So just to recap what happened last time we got a warning shot. So the 145 level, I've got to go back a little bit further. So this was the very first warning shot we got last year. That's what happened after the warning shot. Yeah, they pushed it back up. Then they did an intervention. Then they did another intervention. Then they did, just it's what happens basically. So if the warning shot doesn't work, the intervention does. We're back up there. So either the market will pay attention or it won't. If it doesn't, it will be made to. Yeah, no bones about it. This thing is not going to rally. It could rally up to there. It could peak its head above there. But at some point soon, you're going to find a 500 to 600 ADR move down on these things. So we'll see what happens today. Could be an interesting 24 hours ahead. Morning, Antonius. Morning, Themba. Morning, Steve. Morning, Guna. Guna Brains. Interesting name. Will you switch to buys on EA on JPY pairs again? No. Sell everything against the yen. I've never touched the EA. The EA's been doing whatever the EA does, Peter. I haven't touched it. I haven't said to it to do anything. It's just taking trades. So I'm short everything against the yen, so I haven't got to do anything. Banked 1.13 this morning. Market is open. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Long on the FTSE. Sorry, I just need to focus on this. I'm not going to trade this morning. If it carries on up to 125 ADR, that's fine, but I do not want to be in a hedge this morning. So I'm just going to... We're basically at ADR already today, obviously because of the news. So not going to break, is it? I'm not going to take that this morning. We've had too much movement. So this is the same as yesterday with the US pairs. When you've had an ADR's worth of movement pre-market, the market hasn't got any legs. So you'll often find it will just flip-flop like this. And that's exactly what we got in New York yesterday for ages. So there's a good chance of a hedge this morning. So I'm just not going to bother with the FTSE this morning. DAX, I will trade. So no trades on the DAX at the minute. So so this morning I've banked some pound yen. So I had an aggressive drawdown control. So as I said yesterday, I did an aggressive drawdown control position up there. That's just been taken off in the news, and I've closed out that position there fully. So that was $850 or something, and I've done drawdown control with half of that. So 924 banked, 262 worth of drawdown control done, and 317 there. That was the aggressive drawdown control position from yesterday. So overall, basically, that 924, including the aggressive drawdown control position and the drawdown control done today, I've used half of that profit basically. So obviously now with what's happened with all the news overnight, I have absolutely no problem holding this short, and I will keep holding it short. So, but I have reduced drawdown on it just because there's too much on it. So I've reduced the lot sizing down on that one. All the other yens are fine. US dollar yen's coming down a little bit this morning, but not dramatically. I've got an aggressive drawdown, control position on that one as well, up here, which was taken overnight. So my average is now just beyond ADR. We need one negative news event on the US dollar, and we'll be back down here. So that will be back to break even. It's just a case of waiting on these things. Today's news, we've got Bailey and Bullock overnight, but Bailey this afternoon. There's no other news forecast for today. So it's all about basically the Aussie unemployment rate and then going into retail and everything for the US tomorrow. And obviously GDP. So busy news day tomorrow. Other overnight news, there wasn't anything. It was all about the yen, as we would expect. So that's it for the news. UK services CPI 6.5 year on year forecast. No different. Right. 0.75% this year rate cuts we're now factoring in. So banked that yesterday. So this is basically at the moment we're on a break-even month, but obviously that can change very, very quickly if we get that yen movement. So we'll see what happens there. Morning, everybody else. Steve, I think I've said a morning to everybody else. Kennelly, AZ, Evans. So ADR, H1M5, just waiting on stuff there. Pound New Zealand I can bank at the moment as well. I mean, that is a one-shot, one-kill trade, isn't it? That's just ADR in and out. I'm going to take that one off as well, just to stick it in the bank, basically. The other pound pairs I'm going to leave running. So I've got 3 other pound exposures as well as the yen. So I'm going to leave those running. What we will, depending on obviously if the market is going to continue this move, will obviously just drop down after a pullback. So, morning everybody else. Just turned up. You're late. You missed the fun at the beginning. I did a special intro today. So you have to go back and watch the intro. I spent a long time planning that. It was a good 5 minutes over breakfast. ADR reversals, banked pound yen this morning, 1 position. So I took off the top position basically as we got down to here. The reason I took that one off was because there's only 3 positions on it, and that position is now in profit. So it was worth banking. It was over 0.5% on a single position. So that's in the bank. Pound New Zealand, I've got an 81% to bank on that. Did I put a trailer on that? Yeah. Okay. So I put a 30-point trailer on that. Pound New Zealand. I might actually drop that down a bit. Putting a 20-point trailer on Pound New Zealand, just to lock that in. So that will close out today. Pound odd. Trailing that as well. There's a good chance we're going to get a pullback on this move. So I'm just going to lock in the profit basically and take it off. This is a one-shot, one-kill. So this was an ADR hit yesterday. So straight in, straight out. Easy job. Everything else there is Swiss franc related. Holy crap. Right, okay. I forgot to put these on this morning. I completely forgot about these. Why is there 2? I put an aggressive drawdown control position on this yesterday. I've got 2 positions on it. Ouch. Okay. Didn't want 2 positions on that. That's going to hurt. What the hell have I done there? Okay, we just had a reversal alert on that. Hopefully that holds. I want to take one of those off. I shouldn't have 2 on there. But I put an aggressive drawdown control position on this one. Why is that so big as well? Sorry, I think I've really cocked up on that trade for some reason. I've got a feeling one of those should have gone on another instrument, and for some reason I've put both of them on the US dollar Swiss. Okay. Can't have both of those positions on. That's far too much risk. Far too much risk. Okay. Fingers crossed that doesn't push today. That was meant to be a single position, and sorry, I can't. I did this late last night. Can't remember why I put that much size on. Bear with me one sec. $259. Yeah, that was right. 2.6. I put one pending order on. I must have got distracted and come back and forgotten I put a pending order on. I've put the pending order back on again. I didn't see it for some reason. That should be a single, and that's basically one normal aggressive drawdown control position. I've cocked up and put it on twice, which is fantastic if this drops today. But if it does drop today, that one's coming off. Or rather that one or the other. So yeah, so I put an aggressive on yesterday because that was getting a little bit too heavy. It's obviously now much too heavy because obviously I've got potential for $1,500 loss on that. Can we have a little cross our fingers and pray to baby Forex Jesus that the US dollar either drops today or the Swiss franc has a little bit of a rally at some point this morning. Morning, Gav. Morning, Themba. Aren't you trading the DAX today? Yep. I am long the DAX. I'm just going through Forex because there's a hell of a lot happening on the Forex market. It's much more important than the Forex market today. Yeah, so that one I've put an aggressive on. I've also got an aggressive on the CAD Swiss, which went on this morning, 2.7. So that one at the moment isn't working out either. And the pound Swiss. So that one is working out nicely. So that one, 2.1. In fact, with what we've had today on the pound, I'm going to move the TP down to 125 ADR. Only reason I'm adjusting this, the idea with this aggressive drawdown control position yesterday was that we got this exact news today, and we had the pound dropping. Yeah, so the idea was to take off a portion of the move here, take this off, and then do drawdown control. The fact that I've just cocked up on the US dollar Swiss, I'm going to need to hold this aggressive drawdown control position a little bit further because I want to get that $1,700 back because that's the risk I've just put on the US dollar Swiss. See, even people who've been doing this a long time make really stupid mistakes, and that can make or break your month. So I wondered why that drawdown was so high. I was like, wow. Pound odd. That's got a trailer on it. So that's all I can do on that one today. So we're at 7.4% on the month. I did draw down control on that one yesterday as well. So that's the ADRs. We've got 2 ADRs today, pound odd and pound New Zealand. We'll look at the ADRs and the RSIs in a second. Obviously, US dollar Swiss is the main one at the moment. Hedging banked 4.8% yesterday, 0.3 banked so far this morning, up 25.2 on the month. Euro New Zealand is bankable. That's why that US dollar Swiss is rising. The euro is dropping by the looks of things. Got a weak euro today, which will bring the Swiss franc down. Euro New Zealand. That's half an ADR. So Euro New Zealand and Euro Odd basically are single positions. They're both the same thing because the Australian and the New Zealand move together. So I'm going to take both of those off together and bank 0.4. Got a couple of alerts going off. These are ADRs. Pound is getting squeezed further. Euro pound, pound New Zealand 125. Still pushing. There's nothing else to bank on the hedging account at the moment. So up 0.8 on the day, 25.7 banked now on that. The other account I'm running, which is the fun account that we're playing with to try and double it. I got double margin called on this yesterday. And this morning, obviously, we had a lovely little run, banked 20% this morning. So up 10% on the account. However, because obviously EAs are stupid, obviously what the strategy is calling for at the moment is RSI extensions above 75 and below 25. So what happened was, obviously we got out of the short from yesterday on this drop. And of course, the EA immediately went in the opposite direction. I do not want to be longing the pound when we've just had this news. So all of this profit is going to be wiped out by the stupid EA because it's stupid. Nothing I can do about that, though. And it's probably going to margin call me anyway. 113%. So I'm likely to get margin called and the whole lot's going to shut down and wipe out the profit anyway. So basically, the upshot of trying to compound an account is it's impossible, as I said. You will either blow your account and you will not be able to maintain it because you will either get margin called or your EA will do stupid things. Anyway, so we'll see what happens with this. But I'm likely to bank somewhere in the region of 35 to 40% today. But probably get margin called along the way because we've got exactly the same moves as we had yesterday. Yesterday was totally the wrong day to start running a strategy with 10% risk per entry when we've got 200% ADR moves going on. We've just had a parabolic move on the pound. So basically what happened yesterday is undoing itself. So obviously what we're going to just do is get double margin called, aren't we? But we'll see what happens. But as I said, this is a bit of a fun account just to keep us entertained. So we'll see. I might be able to double the account. You never know. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. So let's go back and look at the open. So yeah, the FTSE break, we got 1 hour on that break, and it's just sitting around now a little bit stuck. So this move, obviously, absolutely massive pre-market. It's quite possible we'll undo a lot of this move on the pound at some point, which would be lovely. Then it obviously can pull back and rally. But when you've had a big move like this, it's very difficult for the market to get any sustained move because the orders set to go in at the open, which forms the initial cash balance, has already been done. So that move tends to be a little bit more whippy, as we saw yesterday with all the New York open instruments. They just didn't go anywhere, did they? It did eventually, but the open was very, 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 very weak. So, but DAX has broken upside because we got this weak euro. So obviously this is doing the opposite to the euro. Big propulsion move there, which is TP1. So that's nice and achievable. That's that low as well. And we did break out yesterday on the DAX. So we are potentially going bear. However, we tapped straight into pretty much the pip last week's low, and the limit orders triggered and they bought last week's low back up again. So we are just in this massive range at the moment. So potential for this to come up and test that propulsion gap is quite high. Potential for it to come up and undo all the propulsion gaps as we've been doing so far for the last week or so. So we'll see what happens. But at the moment, we are holding this rally. But obviously, we've got a chance this might drop. So there's no news catalysts today from the euro to drive this anywhere. So we just have to wait and see what happens. Go on, Goldman. That's it. You talk the pound down a little bit more. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the DAX, but pretty easy to hit upside target today, and there's plenty of room, obviously, to move up. So we could get a nice clean move like that, but we'll see. So long the DAX, not particularly aggressive open again today, is there? Out pound New Zealand on the trailer. I'll be out pound odd on the trailer, I'd imagine, as well. Oh, no. I didn't trail that one. Why didn't I not trail that one? Is that not enough profit? No. Got to bear in mind, though, you're expecting double risk, so it's actually 5% drawdown. On what? Which one was that? Got worried there, stepped away to get the kids breakfast, came back and heard you talking of getting margin called. Yeah, no, it's only on the fun account. It may not happen. We'll see. But, you know, this is like... this is the trouble with... you know, people talk to me a lot about trading the 1 minute chart with the market reverse alert CA. The trouble with trading any swing strategy on a 1 minute chart is you are going to get a lot of movement on news, and news will kill you. So if you're going to trade, the reason we don't care about news movement is because we're trading hourly charts or 4 hourly charts. Yeah, everything we do is based on HTF, higher time frame analysis, and lower time frame entry. So yes, we do get in on the 5 minute chart. We're trading our entries on the 5 minute chart, but we're trading the hourly and 4 hourly swings. With M1, M15 type strategy, which people are trading, you are trading 1 minute charts on 15 minute extensions. A news event of 200% of ADR will absolutely kill you. Yeah, this got extended here. On the 1 minute chart, this thing would just look like a parabolic rocket taking off. So this is the problem with it. You're going to get so many false signals. But this, you know, this, as I said yesterday, this is the worst possible week I could possibly have started a strategy like this, because the first day I start it, we get a parabolic 200% ADR day, followed by a parabolic 100% ADR day. Anyway, it's just like, completely picked the wrong time. If you're trading it when there's no news and you get 15-minute RSI extensions, it's going to be brilliant. No, but you've really got to pick the days. So, and you know, as we know, there's not many days we don't have big red news. So you just kind of have to avoid the currencies. You kind of want to filter it out, don't you? Really. But anyway, we'll see. It'd be lovely if we get a pullback on this pound odd, and I can just exit these two. Well, anything that's pound based, basically, that it's stupidly gone long on, because it's not likely to rally, is it? Anyway, we'll see. Your US dollar Swiss 10% risk is kind of like 5% because it's double the risk. Yeah, it does. It can be kind of like whatever you like. The fact of the matter is I just put $3,000 worth of risk on the table, which is ridiculous. So, yeah, it doesn't make it better. That's going to absolutely destroy my month, which is a problem. It's going to stop me out for $1,500. That's the month gone. One fat finger, 1 month gone. Not good. But there's nothing I can do about it. I can't hold that. That's 5% bigger than my comfort level already. So that's coming off with a massive loss. So that's basically blown the month. Thank goodness for hedging. Anyway, challenging month this month for 2 reasons. First of all, H1M5, very stagnant. Secondly, I'm an idiot. Never mind. Can't do anything about the second one, can we? I'm new here, coming from Kenya. Kindly, which pair or currency is this? Can you read English? If so, there we go. If not, can't help you. The fact that you've typed in English, I would assume that you can. Therefore, you should be able to see on the screen exactly what I'm talking about. That's why it's there. Sorry, you picked the wrong day to ask stupid questions. Right. So, RSIs. I haven't done thumbs this morning. Kayla from Kenya isn't going to give me a thumb up. He's going to give me a thumb down. DAX is 1.5R. Nearly there. So RSIs today, we've only got the 1 hourly, which is your US dollar Swiss, which is the only thing I do not want to push today. Anything else can do what the hell it likes. US dollar Swiss, if you could possibly just not push above yesterday's high, that'd be great. This needs a wait, doesn't it? Just have to check the cameras are turned off so the banks don't see what I'm doing, because they'll be very cross if they saw this. Okay, that's US dollar Swiss sorted, so that's not going any higher today, so it won't be able to break that line now. Job done. So that's an RSI extension. It's just above the 70. We obviously had the 80 extension yesterday. Yeah, very, 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 very extended. We had a big, obviously, day on this one yesterday. So lots of money coming out of this Swissy at the moment. Unable to find any strength, and obviously the euro dropping isn't going to help that today either. So, but obviously now I've drawn that, there's absolutely no way it's going above yesterday's high. We're sorted. So there we go. Fix the problem. Temporarily removing it as well doesn't make any difference. Once it's in the weight, it gets scared and then it drops. So that's an opportunity to go short. Obviously, I'm already in this one with the extension from back here. And since we got that move off of the news, we've literally just ground for a week and a bit, and we've had news. So the reversal is in though. So hopefully this is the peak formation high, and we're going to get a structure break back down to test this area, this accumulation. In which case then that gets me pretty much back to break even. So I will just do some profit taking and DD control on it. I'm only in 4 positions on it, but I just want to control the Swissy a little bit because obviously the Swissy is very weak at the minute and I've got a lot of exposure on it. 4-hour RSI massively extended off the back of that. So we're above that 80 level. Yeah, so pretty much where we are there. This one took a week to undo on news. Could well be the same thing, but we'll see. So we are clearly, obviously, bullish at the moment and bearish against us on the Swissy. So a big, strong move up there. We haven't really got any resistance coming up, which is what slightly worries me about this US dollar Swiss. Your next level of upside resistance is all the way back there in the middle of that whacking great propulsion move. So this whole thing here is one big propulsion move that happened over 8 hours. There is nothing basically to stop us until we get up to there. And then we're looking at upside resistances up there. So downside resistance is 125 ADR today. But we will see. So there's 4-hour RSI extension. US dollar yen we know is obviously extended. That is debatable whether that's coming down today or not. So we'll have to wait and see. Just realized I didn't put a stop loss on that either. That's the thing this month I've gone wrong twice on stops. I haven't been paying attention because I haven't done aggressive drawdown control for such a long time because the market hasn't been moving. Obviously, I don't leave any stops on overnight because you just get spread out and taken out anyway, regardless. So I have to take the stops off. And then twice so far this month, I've forgotten to put the stops back on in the mornings, which is bad because obviously if you get a ADR move against you, it's going to hurt. So yeah, US dollar yen nicely extended. That is just coming out of extension now. So same sort of thing. We're just looking for a pullback. Yeah. And obviously now we're looking for that yen intervention, or for the market to wake up and stop devaluing the yen and buy some. US dollar CAD is also just about extended on the 4-hour. That's already started to roll over. I've got a trade on that one. Just go for an ADR on it. Down there. Pound yen, we know about. So that one's started to roll over. Coming out of extension, which again, obviously, yen hopefully will power up. If the yen powers up, we'll see ourselves down at 200% ADR today on this one. And obviously, that pound tomorrow has got another piece of news which could really hurt it. So if we get the GDP figure coming out as recession tomorrow, so if we do get that negative 0.2, or we get anything worse than that, we get a negative 0.3 or worse, you kiss the pound goodbye. That'll be down at ADR again tomorrow. So we'll see. DAX is tapping into 2R. Just going to close that out. First half. There's not an awful lot of volume. You can see how slow this movement is today. It's like we're not moving much, are we? We're just kind of ticking along. So there's not a lot of volume. So just going to take half off. And just see if we can get a runner on the second part. But speed of movement today, I'm not overly hopeful. That we're getting a little bit of push on the FTSE as well, so it may well break that high. We may get a continuation run on the FTSE. That means the the pound will be dropping further. So pound Swiss, again, all these Swiss francs massively extended. So pound coming down nicely. Target back to retest origin of the move, which is the double top break. So that propulsion move. So yeah, that one's started to roll, and obviously we'll see if we get this pound weakness continuing. Don't forget we got Bailey later. This could completely reverse this. He could turn around and say, this is fantastic news. However, what we won't be doing is putting the interest rates down. There is still a chance the interest rates could go up. We reverse the entire thing. So we'll wait and see what happens with Bailey this afternoon. That's started to roll over. Pound odd extended, only just though, because it's obviously come out of extension. Not really enough to... Do I take that off? I'm going to take the pound CAD and the pound odd off, just because it's a one in, one out, easy play, and it just banks some more money. It reduces my exposure on the pound as well, just in case Bailey comes out this afternoon and says, actually, yeah, we'll just, you know, we might get a movement. So just going to take those two off. So that pound CAD, pound odd rather, 4-hour RSI. Press buttons. That's a nice little drop. We are obviously moving up at the moment, so it just makes sense to take it off, take the money. I've banked a couple of times on this, on these mean reversions, so it's nice, easy in and out, isn't it? So that's pound odd. Euro, US dollar extended to the downside, still dropping. This euro is not very well at the moment. First entry taken on this one last week, and we basically didn't manage to get. Was it last week? Yeah. We ground up, didn't really get far enough. So first entry there. We're taking a second entry if we continue to drop on this one. That is nicely extended still on the 4. So if it drops further, we'll get a nice extension below that 20 level. Then we're looking for a push back up into that propulsion gap. Euro pound, obviously that's rallying like crazy off the back of the pound weakness. So target on that one at the moment, I'm targeting these highs. So yeah, hopefully we get that continued weakness on the pound. Euro Swiss is extended as well. That one's nice, big extension above the 80 level this morning. It's a little bit lower now, but big strong move there. Looking for just a pullback on this. We have broken out the highs though, so this entire move, as you can see, there's been no profit take on it at all. So you're looking for at least a 38 to 50% retracement on this if it is going to continue to rally. But the Swiss franc shouldn't stay this week for this long. We'll get some movement into that. All we need is one bad thing to happen in the world and the Swiss franc will power up like crazy and this thing will collapse. So not hoping for bad things to happen, obviously, but there's a hell of a lot of flashpoints for conflict around the world at the moment. And as soon as there's any interruption to oil, gold, any kind of conflict that's going to cost money, the money flies into the Swiss franc. So at the moment, though, very weak. CAD Swiss also very extended as well. So first entry taken on that one yesterday. Target, just stick down at the first propulsion, which is 175 ADR. So looking for a drop on that one. That's extended on the 4, was extended on the hourly yesterday. That's embedded as well. So you've kind of got a flat RSI, bullish price action, which is bearish divergence. So those are your RSIs. Put them back on the DAX. ADRs today. Can't believe I've done that. That's the stupidest mistake I've made for a long time. I don't even know why I did it. That's what's annoying me. I would never put 2 aggressive drawdown control positions on. One of them was a pending order, look there, and the other one was a pending order there. Both, that was the one that I wanted to put on. I've no idea where that came from. And it's going to bug me for the rest of the day. I put these on last night, and the only thing I can think of is I thought I hadn't done the US dollar Swiss one, but why would I have not seen it? But that's going to cost me dear today. Nothing I can do about it though. So that's double topping. So either the limit orders are going to trigger and drive that away, or I'm dead. I'm probably going to die live on stream right now. There we go. Just about to stop out. Anywho, yeah. So ADRs today, we've got 4. Pound New Zealand. Obviously, most of these are going to be pound based today. So Pound New Zealand, ADR 125 to the downside, just gone long. Obviously it's 125 extension. So I'm out of the shorts from yesterday. As you can see, ADR hit yesterday, ADR hit today. This market's livening up a bit. It's good, finally. Movement. We need movement to make money. So Pound New Zealand in first one. So if it does continue to drive today and we end up coming to retest this level, I'll be getting out on that move. If it just pulls back and then drops, I'll be getting out on that move. So target there, Pound New Zealand. That's worrying amount of pound it's got long on. That's the strategy. Let it play out. Pound CAD, ADR. So that's only just hit ADR. I need to get in at 125, so I need more extension than that but that is a nice entry opportunity. But just be careful with this pound. Yeah, this is obviously worse than expected with the inflation, or rather, the inflation is hasn't gone up, so it is bearish. We could well see a much bigger move off the back of this, especially if Bailey comes on and says anything about increasing interest rates this afternoon. So at the moment, we're still unsure as to when we're looking to drop the rates on the pound. But if he comes out this afternoon and gives us a definitive time, this could be easily down at 200 ADR today, easily. So just be a little careful. Pound odd also extended. Trailing stop on that one. We'll be getting out of the short. If it hits 125 ADR, I should be getting back in long and playing back up into this propulsion gap. So the higher this candle is here, so that is going to form a propulsion gap. So if it hits this area, fills this propulsion gap, I should be getting in long and playing it back up into there. Euro pound is also extended to the upside. That's just up at 100. So you could drop down M5, wait for the reversal on that one to get you in short. We're filling the propulsion move from yesterday. So complete undoing of yesterday's move. As I said, this is what we call a V-shaped recovery. Very, 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 very common. So there you go. So there's your ADRs. Out the DAX, flat. So not a lot of volume. That's why I got out there, because it's not looking like there's an awful lot of volume today. So out the DAX, flat. Job done. Can't believe that pound Swiss. I am so cross about that. My fault. Stupid. Stupid. Why? I'm getting old, obviously. I'm getting senile. I've never done that. I've never done that. And I don't know why I did it. I was putting on aggressive drawdown control positions yesterday. All I can think is that I was going through the P&L, looking at the P&L and going, right, what do I need to get aggressive on? And something happened, and I just did the US dollar Swiss twice. The only thing I can think of. Because I was doing pound Swiss, CAD Swiss, and US Swiss, but I did it twice. What can you do? So hopefully this aggressive pound Swiss plays out to target at 125 ADR. If that plays out down to there, that gets that entire loss back plus $1,000, which is great. It just means I won't be able to do as much DD control on the pound Swiss as I would like. However, obviously we'll be, one, two positions in profit by the time we get down to that TP. So it's all going in the right direction anyway, isn't it? So we'll see. But that's where the aggressive target is at 120, just shy of 125 ADR. I might as well move all these other TPs back down there for the minute, because I don't think I'm going to be able to do full aggressive drawdown control that I wanted to do on it now. Never mind. It's all about adapting. You make a cock up, you adapt to the cock up. This is slightly worrying, the amount of drawdown this. I remember last year we looked at the ADR reversal strategy on the VPS when it was running this set file. And I remember looking at it thinking, whoo, that's why we don't trade ADR reversals. And then we looked at the P&L at the end of the year and went, whew, that made a lot of money. But I do remember seeing it up in these sorts of levels. It's basically a squeeze, isn't it? And this is the problem. When you're squeezed and you are overexposed, this is what happens. So this is to be expected, this sort of drawdown when you're exposed to this level on a squeeze. But it's the Swissy that's squeezing at the minute, isn't it? So we need some Swiss franc strength. Although at the moment, again, their CPI dropped dramatically. So not sure where we're going to get the Swiss franc strength from at the moment. But we will see. Right. So we'll see what happens with this one this afternoon as well. This will be interesting. So it's potential for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80% profit today. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? See if we can bank 100% in a day. Double the account. That's the job, isn't it? That's what we're looking to do. Double the account. I did have to top this up as well. Someone said yesterday, why don't you just top it up so you don't get margin called? So I did. I put an extra $300 in yesterday. Look, I transferred $380 from just a dormant account I had running. So yeah, I topped it up by 300 as well, just to hopefully stop the margin call. We're down at margin call levels again, look, 115. So this is far too much risk. So what I'm looking to do is get as flat as I possibly can on this. Just quickly whiz into the EA on the VPS and just pause this account for the minute, reduce all the risk down, and then restart it. It's too much risk. The only reason it's too much risk at the moment is because we've got too much volatility. We've had the 200% ADR followed by an ADR day. We haven't had that for ages. So when you look at the last sort of month or so of back testing, that's not an issue because we haven't had days like this. Yesterday was the first day we had the ADR dash hit 200 in 2 months. Yeah, so this thing was lit up like a Christmas tree yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. Over here, we saw these columns light up. Hasn't done that for months. We just haven't had any volatility coming through for such a long time. So just the wrong day to press the button on the highest possible risk strategy there is on the planet. But anyway, these things are sent to try us. Let's get on with it. Your US dollar Swiss 10% here. Have a question about the EA. I was in the strategy test. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you put on an MA filter and say you go short, if price goes above the MA, the EA won't add to the positions until price is back below. Nope, yeah, it will do because you've got the filters, haven't you, AZ? I don't think you've read the manual. So in the market reversal alerts, yeah, you've got filters. Yeah, down here. Ignore MA after first trade. Ignore RSI after first trade. Ignore higher time frame after first trade. So condition, RSI extension, below moving average. Signal, enter the market. Price pushes up, above moving average. RSI is below. We ignore the RSI after the first trade. We ignore the moving average after the first trade. We ignore the higher time frame moving average after the first trade. These are set to true. Basically, what it does is it gets in based on the conditions, and then it ignores those conditions, and we scale into the position. If these were set to false, you would need the price to be below the moving average when the second entry. So say the second entry was there, that would not trigger if that was not set to true. Yeah. The whole point of this is, as a position trader, it's not important how we get in, whether that is right or wrong. We need a way to get in, but what happens after we get in is how we make the money, we manage the position. You can't say, all right, I'm not going to go short again because we're above the moving average. What if it never comes back down below the moving average? You're just going to stay in that short for the rest of your life? Can't do that, can you? You've got to be able to scale into the position to scale out. That's the whole premise. US dollar Swiss short. I wish. You watch this collapse. You watch this collapse. You. Always, 100% of the time, when you get out of a position, it goes the other way. That was a really stupid place to put a stop loss, but I couldn't do it. If that was a single aggressive drawdown control position, I would never have put the stop loss there because it's absolutely obvious double top limit order trigger, isn't it? That they're just going to push it back down into this area now. But because I had two positions on, I couldn't risk it. Imagine if that had just pumped. That's just not doable. If that was a single aggressive drawdown control position, my stop would be up here somewhere, giving this plenty of room to breathe. But I couldn't do anything about it this morning. So the question is, do you take this again? It's just killing me, this Swiss at the minute. I just don't trust it at the minute. What I might do is stick that back on. So what have we got? 2.6. Stick it back on. So I'm going to stick it back on under the low of this hourly candle, basically, which is basically an M15 reversal alert. Yeah. So it's actually just above the 15. There's the 15 reversal alert. So it'll be a 5-minute reversal alert, basically. So there's the signal. My entry is going to be down here, so I'll give it some room to breathe, come and retest, and I'll take the break of that retest if it comes back down into there. So I'm going to add it on again if it gets down there, but it's got to get down there, obviously. And then that will bring the average back up. And if I can escape it, basically with a break even, that's the plan. Nothing I can do with that one. Got me. You get got every now and again, and this seems to be one of those months.
Thank God. For hedging.
It's typical, isn't it? It would be the smallest account I've got is the one that generates the biggest alpha this month, whereas the bigger accounts are the ones that are getting hammered. Trading. Love it. 10-ton Holy Grail at work? Yep. Well, it didn't work today, did it? But that's probably because I took it off the chart. If I'd have left the weight on there, it probably would have worked out. But anyway. Maybe I thought it was another pair. I did think it was another pair, yeah. I don't know what, though. I really don't know which pair I was thinking it was. Well, it was one of there's only the 3 Swiss francs that needed the aggressive move done. So, in fact, Euro Swiss is not far off, is it? I've got an aggressive on Euro Swiss. Again, look, I've forgotten to put a stop. I'm not with it this at the moment. I'm out loud. Give me the bloody stop. Not my day today. Yeah, I mean, it's just basically, this is what I do. Basically, every evening I go through the positions and I look for what needs aggressive moves done on it. So I think the problem I've got at the moment is, and this is what's getting me at the moment, is I'm running now 5 accounts as opposed to 1, which I was running last year. So I'm getting a little overwhelmed by the amount of positions on. It's a lot to manage running 5 accounts now with multiple positions all the time. You've got to really be on the ball when you're trading this many positions because there's a lot going on. I'm finding myself checking kind of, there you go, pound odd again, look, finding myself checking sort of every half an hour to an hour and just like banking stuff constantly. Whereas normally I'd be checking once or twice a day. I can't when I'm trading this many accounts because there's so much going on all of them. I've got so many TPs to set all the time. I can let the EA fully automate all of this, but then again, I wouldn't have taken a 0.8 profit on this morning if I'd let the EA done it, because the EA would have closed it out at something like 0.4. So I'm making twice as much money. I don't want to let the EA close positions out, which have got a very good chance of making big profit. That's how you make your money, let your winners run. But equally, you've got to take them off when the market is not doing what it should be doing. And at the moment, we've got an awful lot of that as well, haven't we? So it's tricky. And different sizes as well. Yeah. Maybe CAD Swiss is the other aggressive DD since the size is similar. Yeah. I mean, basically with the my aggressive drawdown control, I used to use 50% of the size for aggressive drawdown control. So this one is 5.45. but it's only 5.45 because I've got an aggressive on at 2.7. So the actual size of that position is 2.7. Now it is doubled. So that's the whole point of the aggressive, is the position is squeezing. So what we're looking to do is literally just get that average up at a level which makes sense to get aggressive, to get this reduced or exit. Those are the options. When you go to an aggressive drawdown control position, you only need an ADR of movement, and you can get out and go, that was crap, that didn't work, I'll get out. You don't lose any money. That's the whole purpose of it. Or you do what I tend to do, which is you take that profit off and you use 50% of that profit to do DD control to reduce the risk of a further squeeze. That way you bank profit and you reduce position size and you keep your average closer than it was before. So it's a win-win-win. However, then you're still in the position, so you are reliant on that profit move starting. But you've got to be on top of it. I'm normally running one account. When you're running 3 accounts with multiple drawdown controls, because I've got aggressive drawdown control going on this account. I've got aggressive drawdown. I haven't got any aggressive drawdown control going on the hedging at the moment because it's not in any problems. But I think it's just I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed with multiples. So I think maybe the solution is possibly to turn on auto DD control and just let it start to scale out of some of these. Then it will mean I've got less need to do aggressive. It's mistakes like this. This is where people go wrong. Basically, you still make mistakes because you're a human being at the end of the day, and you just have to live with them. But they will wipe out, half your month. One stupid mistake, one trade, one click of a button, one news event. There's only one. It takes one thing to make $1 million. It takes one thing to lose $1 million. Very, very easy to do. And something that is completely random and just moves up and down whenever the banks fancy it. So it'd be interesting if MT4 allowed to put stop loss for partial close. Well, yeah, it doesn't. That's why you have to build EAs to do that for you. But you can do that, but obviously you can't. The way to do it, if you want to use that, is just take 2 trades. So, for example, if you're going to go short with 2 lots at a double top, take 2 1-lot positions and have one closing there and one closing there. That's your partial, isn't it? So you just split your trade into 2 parts, which is exactly what we do with SIH, isn't it? Look. This is exactly what SIH is doing. It's taking a partial at 2R and it's going for the 5R target. The target is always 5R. We always take a partial along the way. So we take 2 entries, we close out 1, and then hopefully get the run to the second. Had an exit on that US dollar CAD. I just want to get some of this this down. Actually, I think I'm playing with this as well. Yesterday, I was spending too much time watching this because I was wanting to see when I got my margin calls. Anyway, talking to us lot on YouTube probably doesn't help focus either. No. The amount of time. When I'm on here, I'm constantly looking at everything anyway. So, this is why you'll see me suddenly see something and then flip to another account and go, oh, I can close that because I've seen it on another terminal. So it's not really a problem, this, but you don't, the focus is this. This is it. That is my only focus. That's all I do. Whatever's happening over here is irrelevant because it's out of my control. I can't control anything that happens here. I can control what happens here. That's the only column on my entire terminal I have any control over. I can either make that bigger or smaller by adjusting lot size. That's it. You can control risk. You can control lots. That's it. This is controlled by the market. I can control the speed at which that moves. That is the only thing you can do in trading, control the speed of drawdown. Or speed of loss. If you're using stop loss, you're controlling speed of loss, aren't you? And the speed of loss is determined by distance of stop. So if you get in there and put a stop loss there, your speed of loss will be higher than if you're putting a stop loss there, because the market will take longer to achieve it, or it won't achieve it because you let it breathe. Yeah, this is why everybody tries to get in with super high lots with super tight stops, because they think they can time the market. You can't time something that's random. So all you can do is control how quickly you lose your money. That's what those orders do. They, as we've just seen this morning, the speed of loss this morning on the US dollar Swiss was determined by how many positions I had on. I had too many. If I had only put my 1 on there, that would not be showing that. That would be showing 1.5. That would be showing 5 point something. Speed of loss, controlled by stop loss. That's what it does. That's why we call it a stop profit. Because all they do is they stop you making a profit, don't they? And the market moves in your favor. And not forget how the indices trading went last few weeks. Yeah, this is the thing. I think I'm taking on too much. I've got too much going on at the moment. There's too much going on in here with the accounts. I'm trying to run too many. This is kind of what it was like when I was running the big accounts. The not so much the stress, but the focus is much more. When you've got things ticking at $1,000 a go, your focus is too much. It's too intense. Yeah, this is why people struggle to manage large accounts. So you know this is part of the edge of prop firms. Yeah. Hey, we can give you 200 grand. Really? I've only ever traded with 1,000 before. Hey, no problem. Give us $1,000 and we'll give you 200,000. Excellent. You're not capable of trading 200,000. Every time that thing ticks $500, you're panicking. Yeah. People can't do it. Yeah. You think you can trade big accounts. You can't. Try it. You do it with a demo. It's not the same thing, is it? On a demo, you just go, yeah, whatever. Oh, it went down and made me 15 grand. Yeah, but it went 26 grand into drawdown. What would you have done when it went 5 grand into drawdown? Because that's 3 months worth of mortgage payments. Yeah. Your focus is like you're watching it so intensely. You make stupid mistakes and you make more stupid decisions. Oh my God, it's gone down and it's made $1,500 profit. Close it. What do you mean close it? You've put 10 grand's worth of risk on and taken $1,500 in profit. That's not going to work long term, is it? But it's the monetary amount which scares the crap out of you, which is why we focus on percentage. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether this account is $1,000 or $100,000. 2.2% or 6% of your account is 6% of your account. The money is irrelevant. That's your focus. Percentage. You want a percentage return on your account. Basically the way it works. No. Late today after the night shift, morning. Is there anything interesting today? Lots of movement again. So pound, go back and watch the beginning. There's lots of movement. But like as Dougal said, on an average day, you sit here, you know, we just start talking rubbish because nothing's happening, which is what you spend 90% of your time doing. And then all of a sudden it all explodes. Anyway, so Bailey this afternoon at 3 o'clock. So that is your main focus this afternoon, whatever happens with Bailey. Then we've got Bullock speaking overnight as well for Aussie. Don't think we'll get much out of that. Might do. We'll have to wait and see. We don't get a lot out of the Aussie central bank. So it's worth watching. That is also a precursor to the unemployment rate tomorrow morning. So there's a good chance we're going to get a lot of movement on the Aussies. So anything you have Australian dollar in profit, bank it before the news, because obviously you can't get it back if it disappears. And then we got the pounds tomorrow morning. So I'm not here now for the rest of the week because it's half term. I'm off doing stuff with family all week for the rest of the week. So I'll be back on Monday for the next Frankfurt session. So you won't have any more this week, Frankfurt sessions. So just bear in mind, obviously, what's going on with the news, and keep your eyes peeled on the Financial Juice feed for anything more yen related, because obviously we have had now the shot across the bow from Japan. First one, though. So although there was a very stark warning in here, Diplomat Kanda is prepared to take action on Forex at any time, 24 hours a year. Similar to a natural disaster. I'm just reading that out loud. That doesn't make sense, does it? 24 hours a year. What he means is 24 hours a year, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year is what he meant to say, I should imagine. Or that's just a really bad translation. But so yeah, I mean, it's a very stark warning. This US dollar yen move that you've just done. Probably see on that, can you? But this US dollar yen move that you've just done above the 150 level is not acceptable, and we will be stopping you if you carry on. So we may well get a further push, but it won't be able to get too much further without getting slammed. And look at the previous interventions, yeah, and what we would expect. You're looking at somewhere in the region of, depending on the size of the intervention, 300 to 800% of ADR. So that one there was only 300. Previous ones we've had have been 800. Yeah. So, that's 225. Yeah. So minimum, you'll be down here on an intervention move. Maximum, you'll be down here. Yeah. Literally in hours. So if you suddenly see the yen go completely crazy and everything collapses against the yen, you know why. Yeah, they've pressed the button. It's basically like, think of it like a Forex nuke. They got a button, they just go liquidate. Yeah, get out of all of our US dollar bonds. US dollar, yen. US dollar, yen. Because most of it's in US. They're buying US bonds, they're buying US investments. So when they liquidate all of that, it comes out of the US dollar into the yen. So the US dollar yen is the one that gets the biggest move. All yens will move, but the US dollar yen will be the big one. So my 1 hour option strategy for weekly profits. Good luck with that. Never traded options, never got interested in it. Don't know why. Might be my forte. Certainly not Forex at the moment. Anywho, I'm going to hate the next 2 days without the live rooms. You'll be fine. You know what you're doing. Just let the EA do its thing and just wait, basically. There's a lot of news coming out, so we will get a lot of movement. I will still be, I'm out for days, basically. So I will still be here in the morning, and I'll be looking at everything, obviously. And I'll be here in the late afternoons as well. So I'll still be posting in Telegram. So if anything exciting happens, I will put it in there. Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm just going to leave this running, I think. But I mean, I'm going to reduce the risk on it because it's not going to work with 10% at the minute. It's too high. We'll see. We might come back on Monday, and this will be 100%. Wouldn't that be nice? And then I'll do a little video on it, how I did it, why I did it, etc., etc. And then I'll take the money out and I'll go and spend it. Right, so I'll be back this afternoon at 2:20 for New York, as usual. So if you are around this afternoon, I will be here this afternoon. We'll see what happens this afternoon with Bailey, because I'll be on at 2:20. Bailey's speaking at 3. So I will obviously be around for that this afternoon, and we'll see if Bailey gets that pound back up or whether it continues to drop. So at the moment, looking like we're going to continue this move. It's not pulling back really much at the moment at all, but we are obviously extended. So there is a mean reversion opportunity, but equally we could find ourselves down here this afternoon when Bailey speaks. So we'll find that out this afternoon. All right. So anything you need, let me know. Other than that, I will be back on Monday for the next Frankfurt session and back this afternoon. So hopefully you'll see you then. Have a good one.